Hey folks, in this video we're going to talk about data classes. What are data classes? You can think of data classes as a container for a bunch of values, and you can give it a name. You can give both the container name and each value a name. So in our example that we just talked about, where we have, name, age, countries lived, birth date, Ismail, we can represent a grouping of those values as a data class. So what we're going to do is we're going to give that data class a concept. It seems like the concept could be, it could be something like a biography or a person. Let's just say it's a person, right? And no, actually, let's make this employee because maybe this is a more of a real use case. An employee has a name. An employee has an age in years, right? An employee has countries lived. An employee has a birth date. And an employee has a gender. We'll just call it string for now, and maybe let's change this Boolean to something that makes more sense in this case. Employee also has a is salaried, is contractor, and that'll be a Boolean. And now, instead of having to define a method for each thing, we can actually just define the employee. So, employee equals employee, and we can pass in parameters. So we can pass in, AJ, but we can also give it a name param. So it could be AJ equals. And that's what this val param name syntax allows you to do. So val age in years, 38, countries lived. We can now say it's this list, right? Birth date, and then gender, right? And we have this is contractor. Let's say this person is a contractor, right? And now we can update the string to just do employee.name. So that's the other thing that allows you to basically do the object.name, and you can basically just use that to figure out, to get the value of the name. Employee dot age in years, right? Countries lived. Employee dot birth date, and then am I a contractor, right? And then we can add a little gender here. So my gender is alright, and so that's basically it. And now we can get rid of all these private methods because all of it is basically contained in this named thing. We named an employee, and each field is named in a way where it makes sense. So again, a lot of coding in software engineering is about organization. And this is a way for us to organize things. So now that we have an employee, we can print out this greeting. So if you go back to the main file and then click build and run, you will see that it's basically the same thing. But now what we can do is this allows us to organize our code better if we need to, for example, do more things. So as we loop through, if we want to print out all this info for multiple employees, we'll introduce like for loops and things like that can allow us to kind of more succinctly express the concept that we want to represent in code. Hope you learned something. Talk to you next time.